Hi guys, and welcome back to the Plot Genie. Are your older books sitting on the digital shelf gathering dust? What if I told you those backlist books could still bring in consistent royalties without writing a single new word? In today's video, I want to share my backlist revival strategy, how I turn forgotten books into fresh income streams, boost visibility, and re-engage readers with stories they already love. Let's dive in. Okay, so first let's talk vocabulary. Sorry. What exactly is a backlist? Your backlist includes any books you've already published but aren't actively promoting anymore. So, whether that's book one in a finished series or a standalone you released years ago. Here's the thing, readers don't care if it was published 3 months ago or 3 years ago. If it's new to them, it's new. So, instead of chasing the hamster wheel of constant new releases, let's revive the books you already have. What I like to utilize, and I talk about this in my Substack, which is completely free. It's below. Well, actually, the video content that I do is not free. But I do talk about kind of having a balance of consistent releases as well as backlist opportunities, whether you're doing paid advertising, TikTok, that sort of thing, social media, I should say. Um, because depending on what you want to do for your brand, whether you'd rather invest time versus money, there are ways to revitalize your backlist. In fact, I really quick, actually, no, let's get through the video and then I will talk about my own experience really quick. Okay, so really, I'm sorry. I'm repeating myself a lot. So the three reasons backlist books stop selling, it's actually pretty easy to understand. It's nothing about the book itself, but the first is lack of visibility. You're no longer linking the book, you're no longer posting about the book or pushing the book, essentially. It's out of sight, out of mind. The second reason could be outdated covers or blurbs. Reader expectations evolve. A cover that worked in 2018 might not hook readers today. I completely redid the covers of my Slapshot series this year. The covers had been since 2018. And you know what? That series sells without me pushing it at all. Um, but part of that is the work that I put into the books themselves. However, if you have on-brand covers that are popular right now, and what I did was I went from Manchester, hockey player to more of the animated cartoon covers, and you definitely notice a difference. It looks like a totally new book, but I haven't changed anything within the book itself, just the cover. And the third point is a missing entry point, right? If your book is part of a series and book one isn't free, cheap, or even compelling, then readers aren't going to care about book four if you haven't really hooked them with book one. So once you identify what's keeping your backlist stuck, you can actually fix it. So those are the three that I have found, at least with my experience. Let me know in the comments if you found other ones, right? So now that we know like why the backlist books kind of fade away, let's talk about how to actually revive them, which is, the fun stuff. So here are 5 proven ways to breathe new life into your backlist. So first one, which I've already touched on, is update your packaging. This means new covers, update your blurbs, your keywords, or even your titles. Like I said, I recently did this with the Slapshot series. I put on, fresh covers. What I did specifically is I waited until I had all 12 covers before I then updated all of them, including the paperbacks, and then I pushed with a paid advertising, paid newsletter. If you want to know more about that, definitely look into my Substack because I go into detail for the upgraded to paid users, where we talk numbers and strategy in a very specific way. So you can also add like a bingeable romance series or perfect for fans of to your description in order to boost that appeal to your blurb, that sort of thing. I also have done, I did this specifically for my Dark Paradise trilogy, and I had updated those covers a few times, but I found ones that really hit that urban fantasy kind of dark vibe. And honestly, like I sometimes I don't even advertise it and it'll be my best book one will be the most downloads that I get for that specific pen name just because of the covers. And again, this is one of the first books I ever wrote. Like I was a freshman in college, guys. So I was like 19. Um, so this book was written over 10 years ago, and it's still one of the best-selling books in my Isadora Brown pen name. So again, all you sometimes have to do is find the right cover and it will essentially sell itself. But again, that's being paired with book one being perma-free. So if you want to talk strategy, again, check out my Substack. So, number two, run a series sale or promo week, right? Feature the book in your newsletter, post about it on social media daily. Run a discount, especially on book one. Stack promos like Fussy Librarian, e-reader news today, BookBub, that sort of thing. And then use a theme for the week, like maybe Mafia Mayhem or Cozy Christmas or Enemies to Lovers Extravaganza. Those are fun coming up with. But those are just things to think about when you are running like a series sale or a promo week. It's funny because we kind of assume as authors like, oh, they've either already heard of that series or book, or oh, well, I've already offered it for free or it's perma-free. I'm sure all of my readers have they have it already. The thing is, sometimes they don't, or if they do, sometimes they forget and they're like, oh, I want to go back and read that. You know what I mean? So remind them in your newsletter, like, hey guys, how are you liking X's and goals? Or, hey guys, did you see that Skates and Stones is just on, it's free now for everybody. So just, it doesn't have to take up the majority of your newsletter. And if you already have your slideshows for TikTok or your posts for TikTok, just kind of put like post, you already have it. You already have the material, like go and repurpose it for TikTok and Instagram, you know? Okay, the third thing that you can do is reintroduce characters on social media. So you can do character spotlights, you can do aesthetic boards, you can do quote reels, Q&As in your Facebook group, that sort of thing. People fall in love with people, and your characters are people to your readers. And use your backlist to give readers that nostalgia and intrigue of those who haven't read it yet. The fourth thing you can do, create a bonus scene, an epilogue, or a prequel for this book or series. You can, it could only be 1,000 words. It's not even that big of a deal. A bonus scene, a fun, not safe for work, sexy scene, right? Offer it as a newsletter freebie or just an exclusive download as a way to say thank you for being on your list. You can use it to rehook readers and drive them back to the full book, right? So if it's like, your book one in your hockey series and you write like a proposal or you write a hot locker room scene and it's like, oh my gosh, guys, first of all, thank you so much for being on my list. Here's a present for you. Like there's literally no, like you're giving them value. You're not asking them of anything. Oh, if you haven't read this, definitely check out book one. It's on sale right now. And while you're at it, here is that free scene at the end. You're going to love it. You could potentially even do a Kickstarter or a special launch around an extended like epilogue if you've got super fans. So what do I mean by that? Let's say, you know, like Kickstarter is great if you want to do special editions of your trilogy and these are your backlist trilogies. You've got an amazing hardcover or a special edition. It's a great way to sort of revitalize that and bring people back into the series. And then the fifth, bundle it or break it up, right? So combine 2 to 3 books into a discounted box set, which if you're in KU, this is great for pages read. It's great for direct sales promos, especially if you offer a very good discount. But also readers like binge reading things. They have more trust in you as an author if you can package them up with a at the end of the day, readers don't want to invest time if you only have one book out. They want to know that this is going to be worth something, and you kind of have to earn that. So if you can offer them a, hey, here's a box set of 3 books in that series, that's really that adds value to them, right? Potentially, I don't really like doing this, but potentially if you have a big book, you could split it into novella series with cliffhangers. Um, That's not something I recommend, but I didn't not want to mention it because it is an what's the right thing? It is an option for you. But it's sort of like I I I wouldn't want as a reader to be like, oh, I have to pay. Like it just depends on how you price everything, right? So with having said all of that, you don't actually need to rewrite your backlist. You just repackage and reintroduce it. So here's kind of what I like to do for my like workflow when I do my backlist revival, right? So I'll skim through the book and jot down quotes and then scenes. So especially if I want to market this on TikTok, I like to have 14 scenes for slideshows, right? And then I'll read the blurb and look at the cover. Typically I can rewrite the blurb. That's not a big deal. And then I'll do like so this might be a little bit much, but I like to do slideshows. Slideshows have always worked for me. I've tried other posts and they are definitely fun and I love doing them because of they're fun. But the ones that constantly bring in the views, bring in the like I see a direct correlation between what I'm promoting on social media and my royalties, it's always, always, always the slideshows. So I like to have 14 slideshows for any one book. And the reason I like to do this is because I like to post twice a day. The only day I do not post is Sundays. Like I try to keep that for me and family, me and God. And I try not to do any work, including not posting on social media. So what does that mean? Essentially, that means I have, if you do work Sundays, you have 7 days, a whole week of content where you're posting twice a day, right? And then guess what? You can start over on Monday or Sunday or whenever you do it, you can start back over and completely do the whole week all over again because not everybody has seen this particular slideshow. And the thing is, people need to see things more than one time to realize, oh, yeah, I actually do want to go read that book in KU or go download that free book or go buy it wide, right? So that's why I like 14 because I have that whole week. You could still do 7 and do a week if you only post once a day. Um, Once I have that social media content, I'll email my list with that like themed hook, right? So forgotten favorites or second chance, whatever. I can't think of it off the top of my head. And then I'll run a sale or launch a bonus scene like within that book, tied to the story, that sort of thing. Just to kind of see it. And it's really cool, especially if you do the slideshows because you'll start seeing like that direct correlation. But anyway, if your older books aren't selling, that doesn't mean they're bad. Guys, it's the truth. And I've read some of my books that are selling. Anyway, it just means that it's time to shine a new light on them, reintroduce them, right? Your backlist is a gold mine. You already did the hard part. You wrote the books. Now it's time to work smarter and let those stories work for you. So drop a comment below. Which backlist book do you want to revive first? And if you need any help, like check the link below. I have a website, theplotgenie.com, and you can check out all of the fun templates and journals, things like that. And again, check out my Substack. It's free. If you want to go into strategy, definitely subscribe to it or do the upgrade to paid, but you don't have to do that. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. I hope this was helpful. All right, take care. Bye.